Question number 5, Keith Locke.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and asks, has he received any advice on whether a law curtailing women's rights in Afghanistan has been, quote, brought into line with the expectations of the international community, end quote, as he was promised by Hamid Karzai? If so, what was that advice?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have received no formal advice. Commentary suggests there may have been some changes to the law. However, officials are seeking an official translation of that law as it has been legislated before assessing what changes have been made.
Keith Locke.
Supplementary. What action will New Zealand take should Hamid Karzai's assurance to him on women's rights turn out to be false and, for example, men are still to be legally permitted to starve their wives if denied sex?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
On behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Government is not prepared to jump to conclusions about whether or not the President has done something he indicated he wouldn't do. We're not alone in this matter. New Zealand has expressed the same concerns as the rest of the international community, and if we find those concerns remain, we will consult with our international partners over what appropriate steps ought to be taken.
The Honourable Chris Carter.
Mr Speaker, did he seek advice on the possible impact on existing social and economic projects, including those affecting women, in Afghanistan's Bamyan province following his government's decision to phase out the highly regarded and very successful provincial reconstruction work being done by New Zealand personnel in that province?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
On behalf of the Minister, I'm not in a position to answer that question. I undertake to get back to the member as soon as I can obtain some advice from the Minister's ministry.
Keith Locke.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. What assurance did the Minister get from the Afghan government about the humane treatment of any prisoners handed over by New Zealand military personnel? And is the Minister confident that any such assurance would be kept should the prisoners be handed over to Afghan forces controlled by brutal warlords such as Rashid Dostum?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
On behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I'm not in a position to answer either of those questions. Again, I can undertake to get back to the Minister as soon as I've been briefed on the particular matter concerning that particular warlord.
Keith Locke.
Why does the Minister think that our SAS soldiers should risk their lives defending a hopelessly corrupt administration which is currently renewing its mandate through an obviously fraudulent election? And I think that the Minister should be sufficiently briefed by what has been in the papers over the last 2 or 3 days.
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
Well, on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, both the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Prime Minister have given answers to those particular questions. I have nothing to add to them.
Point of order, Keith Locke.
I think that just to say that the answers have been given and we don't know where and how, etc., surely it's up to the Minister to repeat at least some of that material.
Order.
I invite the member to actually reflect on the question he asked. Rather than it being a question, the member made a string of allegations about the situation in Afghanistan that may or may not be correct, but still, I think given the nature of the question, it's a bit rich then to expect the Minister to answer it in any particular way.